what's another storyline you're looking at before the 2024 season kicks off?
Yeah, as I said, I love drivers. I love following the drivers. There's obviously a whole business side and various other aspects you can look at, but I love seeing how drivers perform and their racecraft. And going off of Stuart Haas, I got to look at Hendrick Motorsports. It was a tale of two seasons, really. I mean, you think of what Byron was able to do, an astonishing season. A lot of people saw that when he had the one of the best truck seasons we ever saw. Many years ago now. He turned that into an Xfinity title, then straight into Cup. It was like K&N Series, Trucks, Xfinity Cup, bam, bam, bam. And we've seen very few drivers pull that off. And it was a really tough start for him, but give him enough years and he's the winningest driver in the sport. 6 wins, really tough to do that, particularly with just a handful of years underneath you. He killed it. Larson, he's so inconsistent. He always has been. But when he doesn't get caught up in an incident, he's winning or he's contending for the win. He's in, like, anytime we have a crazy finish, particularly him and Denny Hamlin, he's always involved in it. And he's one of the greatest racers on the planet right now. It doesn't matter what series you're looking at. And I know we're going to talk about the double and all that. He's just, he's amazing.
Yeah.
But then you look at the other side, you got Byron Larson and then you got Alex Bowman and Chase Elliott, who they're coming off really difficult seasons in very different ways. They both had their injuries. They both missed a number of races, and neither of them were really able to come back and compete to their usual standards. And I was really concerned for a bit. We all thought Chase was going to point his way into probably not point, but win his way into the playoffs. And that wasn't able to happen, of course. But Kyle Petty on the NASCAR and NBC podcast last year, at some point, because you always asked about Chase, right? The entire fall is Chase going to make it? What's he going to do this week? What's wrong with Chase? And, Kyle just says, listen, everybody, what's wrong with Chase? Everybody has an off year, all right? Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, Jeff Gordon, they've all had an off year. It wasn't his year this year. And given the circumstances, I did wonder, because it was an injury. It wasn't just him just being off. But hearing that did put me at ease a little bit, because, I mean, despite, if you look at the tail end of 2022, he did make the championship 4, and, the early summer following his injury, he had a run of top 5s and a lot of stage points, this year. But just during the summer and into the fall, it fell off, and he had to do a lot under those circumstances, and it just didn't quite happen there. And Bowman as well, he started the year off really well, and he was nowhere to be seen after that back injury. So they're both there. I feel I have a lot more interest in Chase. I feel like he's more capable. We've seen him win titles in many races, most years. He's had double-digit top 5s every season except last year, and Bowman just isn't at that mark yet. So a fresh start is what they're getting here at Daytona, and we know that Chase has had his run-ins at Daytona. He's come close before, and maybe that they just need a fresh start. They got 2 of the most competitive teammates you can ask for, and we'll see what they can do. But right now, off of last year, I really don't know what to think about that team. It's going to be fascinating to see where they go from here.
Yeah, it's crazy to say the premier organization, you have no idea what to expect, right? But it was a tale of 2 seasons for them, because you had Larson and Byron, perennial championship contenders. And then, like you said, the injuries just plaguing Chase and Bowman's stock, and they weren't the same when they come back. But a fresh start for both of them, I think is important. And I mean, everything is going to be about Chase this year. Can he get back to victory lane? Can he reinsert himself in the playoff conversation, and more importantly, the championship conversation? And the bigger thing with Chase, with me, is I think that there's just so many more variables at play, especially when you take a look at atop the pit box with Alan Gustafson. I feel like Alan Gustafson is one of the more questionable crew chiefs in the garage. I just feel like more times than not, the decisions that the team has made has kind of put Chase in a little bit of a precarious position in terms of how the race unfolds. I don't think it's all Chase. I think that there are some bigger issues with the team itself. And look, I think it's going to be a big year for Allen if he can kind of help his driver get back to the level that we know he's capable of. And hopefully they can minimize some of those mistakes to put Chase back in victory lane. As far as Bowman, I really don't know what to expect for that number 48 team. I believe he's in a contract year this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So he's got that pressure because that 48 car it's a top ride and it could be available. So I think there could be additional pressure there for Alex to really kind of come through. I mean, Daytona presents a great opportunity. What's he going for? 7 straight front row starts,
7 straight
in the 500, which is just ridiculous.
He doesn't have 7. He doesn't have 6 straight top 2 finishes.
No, exactly.
And that pays more.
Yeah, that would pay more, especially if he's able to win one of these. But nonetheless, he's shown speed. He's had the consistency. He just doesn't have the hardware to show for it. And I don't know, man. Like, as I sit here right now, I don't expect him to make the playoffs. I think that there are better cases for other drivers, especially as we were kind of able to see it last year. And look, the field is that much more close. And I'm just not, I don't know. Alex just doesn't do it for me this year. But Chase, definitely interested in. I mean, look, NASCAR's got their golden boy back. You know that they're going to want to see him up front and see him back in victory lane. It would be a great thing. But certainly Larson, Byron, going to be championship favorites once again this year. And hopefully, we can kind of see a little bit of a rebound from the other two in Chase and Bowman.